Hello everyone, and welcome back to Gaming Chat for Oldman. Every day, we bring you the biggest stories from across the gaming world. From blockbuster releases to forgotten retro gems, we cover the news that deserves your attention. Yesterday, the gaming industry couldn't stop talking about PlayStation. Today, let's shift gears. Because sometimes, the most interesting gaming stories aren't about brand new games. Sometimes they're about forgotten classics finally getting the second chance they always deserved. And today's story is exactly that. After 27 years, one of the strangest and most ambitious PlayStation games ever made is finally coming to the rest of the world. The game is called 70s-style Robot Anime Geppy-X. Originally released only in Japan back in 1999, Geppy-X will finally launch worldwide on July 16th. For the first time ever, players in North America and Europe will be able to experience the game officially in English. And perhaps even more surprising, the game is also getting a physical edition. After yesterday's discussion about PlayStation's move toward an increasingly digital future, it's refreshing to see another publisher investing in a boxed release for a niche retro title. So, what exactly is Geppy-X? On paper, it's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up for the original PlayStation. But in reality, it's much more than that. The developers weren't simply trying to make another shooter. Their goal was something much stranger. They wanted players to feel like they were actually watching and playing a classic Japanese super robot TV show from the 1970s. From the moment you start the game, everything is presented like an old television broadcast. There's an opening theme, episode title cards, commercial breaks, sponsor messages, mid-episode eye catches, ending credits, and even previews for the next episode. It's not just a game, it's an interactive Saturday morning anime experience. You control the giant robot Geppy-X, piloted by 3 young heroes defending Earth against an invading alien empire. If that sounds familiar, that's because Geppy-X wears its inspirations proudly. The biggest influence is undoubtedly Getter Robo. 3 pilots, 3 separate machines, multiple combination forms, and spectacular over-the-top attacks. The similarities are impossible to miss. But Getter Robo is only the beginning. Throughout the game, fans will recognize tributes to legendary super robot series like Mazinger Z, UFO Robo-Grendizer, Combattler 5, and Gaiking. Even some enemy designs feel like playful nods to Crystal Mobile Suit Gundam mobile suits. The fake TV commercials are just as entertaining. Instead of simply loading the next stage, the game interrupts itself with toy commercials, sponsor ads, and television bumpers that perfectly recreate the atmosphere of Japanese TV during the 1970s. It's clear the developers weren't parodying these shows to make fun of them. They were celebrating them. In many ways, Geppy-X feels less like a video game, and more like a love letter to an entire era of Japanese pop culture. Then came the truly surprising part. Despite being a relatively simple shooter, Geppy-X received an astonishing production budget. The game shipped across 4 PlayStation discs, something almost unheard of at the time. More than 8,000 hand-drawn animation cells were produced. The animation itself was handled by AIC, one of Japan's best-known animation studios. The voice cast featured some of the biggest names in anime, and the music lineup was equally impressive. Legendary performers including Isao Sasaki, Akira Kushida, and Hironobu Kageyama recorded theme songs and vocal tracks not only for the opening and ending, but also for individual stages and even boss battles. The soundtrack became such a major selling point that it was released 2 months before the game itself. For a PlayStation shooter in 1999, that level of production was almost unbelievable. With so much money invested in the project, fans still tell stories about how enormous the game's budget must have been. Whether every story is true or not, one thing is certain. Geppy-X was clearly a passion project. The developers poured everything they had into creating the ultimate tribute to 1970s super robot anime. Unfortunately, that ambition wasn't enough. The game arrived very late in the original PlayStation's life cycle. By 1999, players were already looking toward the next generation of consoles. Critics also felt that while the presentation was spectacular, the shooting gameplay itself was fairly average. The result was disappointing sales. And before long, developer Aroma quietly disappeared from the game industry. For many companies, that would have been the end of the story. But Geppy-X had one more surprise waiting. But that wasn't the end of Geppy-X. Over the years, something unexpected happened. Players began rediscovering the game. Collectors started hunting for original copies. What was once considered a commercial failure slowly became a cult classic. Today, original PlayStation copies often sell for impressive prices on the collector's market. Not because the gameplay is revolutionary, but because nothing else looks or feels quite like Geppy-X. That brings us to the company responsible for bringing it back: Implicit Conversions. If you've been following the recent wave of classic game restorations, you've probably seen that name before. The studio has quickly become one of the most respected specialists in retro game preservation. Rather than simply emulating old games, Implicit Conversions focuses on making them feel at home on modern hardware. At the center of that effort is their proprietary technology called the Syrup Engine. The Syrup Engine is designed to preserve the original gameplay, while adding the quality of life features players expect today. That includes rewind support, quick save functionality, custom screen options, CRT filters, achievements, and support for multiple modern platforms, all without changing the original experience. The company has also contributed to bringing back several PlayStation classics, including Fear Effect, Fighting Force, and Milano's Oddjob collection. More recently, Implicit Conversions became part of Atari, further strengthening the company's role in preserving gaming history. And that's exactly why Geppy-X feels like such a perfect fit. This isn't just another re-release, it's a restoration. Perhaps the most impressive improvement is the animation itself. Instead of simply upscaling the PlayStation video files, the team went back to the original Betacam master tapes. Those masters were digitized again using modern technology. More than 8,000 hand-drawn animation frames were carefully restored in high definition. Even better, the animation is now presented at the intended 24 frames per second, making every sequence smoother and more cinematic than the original PlayStation release. The original voice performances from 1999 have also been preserved. That means players can still hear the legendary cast exactly as audiences did more than 2 decades ago. Modern features have also been added. Players can rewind gameplay, create quick saves, use rapid-fire options, apply CRT display filters, and customize the experience without sacrificing the game's original identity. The remaster launches on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. Perhaps the biggest milestone of all? This is the first official English localization in the game's history. For decades, Geppy-X was a game that many Western players had only heard about through magazine articles, import reviews, and online videos. Now, they'll finally be able to experience it for themselves. Collectors also have something special to look forward to. The Japanese limited edition includes a reproduction drama CD, a production art book, and newly illustrated collector's packaging inspired by the original PlayStation release. It's exactly the kind of release retro collectors love. Looking back, it's hard not to wonder what might have happened if Geppy-X had launched a few years earlier, or if it had received a worldwide release from the beginning. We'll never know. But maybe that's part of what makes the game so fascinating. Sometimes the most memorable games aren't the biggest hits. They're the ambitious projects that dared to do something completely different. And Geppy-X certainly fits that description. 27 years ago, it arrived too late to find its audience. Today, it finally gets the global release many fans believed it always deserved. Whether you're a longtime PlayStation collector, a fan of classic anime, or simply someone who enjoys discovering overlooked pieces of gaming history, Geppy-X is definitely one to keep on your radar. What do you think? Will you be picking up Geppy-X when it launches? Or is there another forgotten PlayStation classic you'd love to see restored next? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.